Scorpion is the classic Schwarzkopf looping coaster at Busch Gardens, Tampa. While this ride has been dwarfed by the park's newer coasters, this ride still holds its own in the lineup, and it serves an important niche for the park. I'll explain why in this review. Busch Gardens Tampa originally opened exclusively as a brewery and animal park, but they began their transformation into an amusement park in the 1970s by adding a series of amusement rides. Their first coaster was an aero corkscrew named Python in 1976. This coaster was well received, so the park looked into adding more. In 1980, the park opened the Timbuktu section of the park, and the anchor attraction was Scorpion. This would be a Schwarzkopf looping coaster, specifically a Silver Arrow model. 3 of these coasters were ever erected. Scorpion is unique because it has spent its entire life in one home. Compare that to the other 2. One of these rides has been traveling throughout Europe, making several stops, but ever since 2017, it has operated as Big Blue at Dalma Land in Croatia. The final one was moved throughout Africa, where it has operated as Looping Star at Rand Show in South Africa for over a decade. That is an interesting name though, because the Silver Arrow model shares a lot of similarities with another Schwarzkopf model known as the Looping Star. The best known example of the latter is Silver Bullet at Frontier City. This model is taller. Both rides start off with a twisting first drop and a vertical loop. The Looping Star model then has 4 consecutive turnarounds. The Silver Arrow model instead has 2 helixes back to back. Both coasters are short, but they're punchy rides. Scorpion does not have any theming. It instead relies on the adjacent area for the presentation. While the Timbuktu section of the park has since been rebranded as Pantopia, this section still feels similar as it has an African market vibe to it. Unlike the other 2 Silver Arrow coasters, this one at least has a permanent support structure. The ride originally opened with orange track and black supports, but it now sports red track and blue supports. Then off-ride, the loop is strategically placed front and center to make the ride look as appealing as possible. When Scorpion originally opened, it was one of the earliest looping coasters out there. Now it's overshadowed by the park's larger thrill coasters. For much of its life, Scorpion operated with a low 42-inch height requirement. This made it the perfect first looping coaster for kids. But there was an incident last year where a young kid started to slide beneath the lap bar, causing the park to raise the minimum height limit to 48 inches. While the ride is still a great choice for someone's first looping coaster, young kids now have to wait an extra year or 2 before they're tall enough to ride it. Scorpion never has the longest line at the park, but it usually is a decent wait most days. Expect to wait somewhere around 15 to 30 minutes. I have never personally seen the line in the extended switchback area, but I know it is used on busy days. Often, I see the covered bridge section filled. 3 ways to beat the crowds in this one. 1. Head here right when Scorpion opens for the day. This ride, as well as Pantopia, have a staggered opening. Scorpion specifically usually does not open until an hour after the park does. 2. Head here at the end of the day. Most guests will be prioritizing the park's larger coasters towards the front of the park at this time. 3. Purchase a quick queue skip the line pass. This routes you right to the station, often allowing you to board the next train. This is available on all tiers of quick queue, including the junior tier that starts off as low as $5 per day on quiet days. The main reason for this consistent wait, even on quieter days, is the ride's lower capacity. Unlike the park's other major coasters, this one only runs 1 train, and that train is shorter too, as it seats just 20 riders. The train is comprised of 5 cars, each with 2 rows of 2. 2 additional notes if you want to ride this. First, bags cannot be stored on the load platform. These need to be placed in the paid lockers adjacent to the ride's entrance. Second, seating is often assigned in this ride. This station is extremely narrow, so there's not enough room for multiple parties to queue for a specific row. So the operators usually only let enough people into the station to fill the next train. No more, no less. And they load front to back. If you do ask nicely, they may let you wait off to the side for a specific row, but it's not guaranteed, especially if the ride is busy. I like the back a bit better on this one because you get some added whip on the first drop. but the ride otherwise feels fairly similar across all rows. Scorpion's trains are familiar to the other Schwarzkopf loopers. The seats do not have much legroom, but there is foam padding present to mitigate this. Then riders are secured by U-shaped lap bars. They're pretty minimalistic. They are simple and comfortable. The lift chain extends all the way back to the station, so once checked, you immediately head right up the lift hill. This takes you to the ride's max height of just 61 feet, or 18.5 meters. It's pretty small for a looper. Once at the top, you have a relatively flat turn right that morphs into a twisting first drop. If you're in the back row, you will get a great lateral kink as you're pulled down the drop. The pullout offers some weak lats for those in front, but it's nothing compared to what those in the rear rows experience. Next comes the vertical loop. It is quite circular, so it offers very strong positive Gs throughout the train. Schwarzkopf loops never fail to impress. Then comes a 540-degree helix. The entry into it has two nice surprises. First, those in back get a good jolt of laterals entering the element. Then everyone gets a good head chopper with a track overhead. Now the height of this helix varies throughout the element, so the forces do change depending where you're sitting. As for positive Gs, those in front get a strong dose of them entering the element. It is not uncommon to gray out here because the Gs continue from the prior vertical loop. The back does not get much in this department for the first 360 degrees, but they are solid on the exit. The track then pierces through the vertical loop, which is a really cool visual both on and off ride. Then comes a 900-degree downwards helix. This offers decent sustained positive Gs throughout the train for the entirety of the element. You then slam to a near stop on the final brake run. You then slowly crawl back to the station, ending the 1,818-foot or 554-meter-long coaster. In terms of pacing, this coaster is pretty good as there isn't much dead space in this ride. Then in terms of smoothness, this ride is aged gracefully. You may get some light side-to-side shuffling on the directional changes, but the whole ride mostly tracks well. This is in line with a lot of other Schwarzkopfs. They aged better than the competition's looping coasters at the time. So what would I rate Scorpion? I would give this coaster a 7 out of 10. This is a good looping coaster. The layout is compact and simple, but it has an intense vertical loop and some solidly forceful turns. While there are bigger and bolder looping coasters out there, specifically at this park, Scorpion is still a fun coaster well worth experiencing. And it's a nice introductory looper before taking kids in the park's bigger coasters. Compared to the other Schwarzkopf loopers, I would compare this similarly to the aforementioned Looping Star coasters. I do prefer Schwarzkopf's larger, more forceful coasters, but this still beats some of the company's more sprawling layouts that are not as well paced. So those are my thoughts on Scorpion at Busch Gardens Tampa. What are your thoughts on this ride? Are you a fan of it? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canobie Coaster. Thanks for watching.